Anyway, going to run out of storage again. But yeah, that this cream or whatever that's on my body constantly. I get hit with it all the time, outside, inside. That makes it so that my muscles are susceptible to radio frequency resonance. Or anyway, they're it's varying. I guess frequencies of resonance, but it seems to be like a really tight, short frequency of resonance, and then I guess a much longer band simultaneously as a resonant frequency. So this means there's something of a low frequency wave associated simultaneously with a short, very short kind of high frequency resonance frequency that I guess is complemented by that low frequency wave that the saying is it's constantly manufacturing the foundations or conditions for maximum hypersensitivity to tremors and various other maladies like I guess Charlie horses and every one of my ligaments, for example, just things getting stuck all the time. But there's the point of it I'm making is that there's a strong tensioning and as well as a total loosening of my muscles throughout my whole body, and with that around my torso. When I'm talking like this, they'll tighten up my whole torso, like up, like my pectoral area, upper chest, all the way to my upper torso, back and front. Let's say around my rib cage, my lungs are. Just a lot of emphasis. There's a constant, I guess, low frequency presence there, and then a strong, like, I guess, series of bursts of high frequency resonance activity that creates a lock type of feeling for my muscles, locks up my muscles there. So when I'm talking, I lose my breath altogether. I can't talk. I have to stop. I have to relax and make it so that those tight muscles in my torso or my rib cage or whatever aren't locked up anymore, so I can continue a conversation where I'm getting hit on my lips as I'm talking, also through the tooth that I'm temporarily missing here as well, like onto the tongue, but right here in the center of my mouth over and over again, so every couple seconds while I'm talking. That, and then that same cream or whatever on my body that's responsible for that muscle, for the tremors or whatever, tension or whatever. That is also like a nerve agent. It's creating, I guess, a kind of toxicity in my nerves, my arteries, but it's a toxin in my nervous system that increases my pulse substantially. So my breath is shorter, my heart rate's up, and I guess when you have an increased pulse from that, it can also be decreased temporarily at will. It's constantly increased through a constant presence of like kind of a medium range resonance frequency, but it's always present to keep the pulse up. But what they do is they kind of turn it off at will to drop your pulse kind of to how it would normally be, and then they'll turn it on along with the muscle tension not long after. But what I'm saying is that can coincide with locking up your lungs, so my heart rate will drop to what it's supposed to be. So all of a sudden, I don't have the pulse go on of catching my breath. But anyway, the main issue, I guess, there is simultaneously, since the tension's commonly in my upper torso area, like in my shoulder blades, but it's so that the blood supply to my head is constantly up a little bit. So my pulse is up. The amount of blood going into my brain is a little bit higher, and then when they create that restriction of the muscles in my neck and my upper shoulders like that, it traps the amount of blood in my brain like that, so the blood oxygenation level is always very high, though it doesn't necessarily match up with brain activity. So I mean, that's just a kind of way of through repetitious, I guess, repetitiously permitting these conditions to exist. I'm exposing myself to, I guess, more deeper insight, but deeper investigations into how my brain functions. Because I'm experiencing different things all the time with all this sabotage and these physically painful adverse conditions. The I guess focal point of their investigations into my increased, I guess, increased blood supply, but increased oxygenation, but increased potential for activity based on, I guess, retention, constant retention. Is that if my present state of brain activity, when it's constantly, I guess, considered as retention, when my state of mind, as I guess I'm calling retention, is something of a blank state, because it is focused on painful things, but more or less primitive or very basic, primal type of survival responses. I guess I'm getting at is that it seems to be predominantly focused on the emotional regulation area of my brain, just the id area of my brain, instinctive center of my brain, where it's not actually functioning much at all as far as I guess drive is concerned, despite what appears to be a very deliberate effort to make it so that I suffer so much in city infrastructure that primitive drives are kicking in as survival instincts would. Anyway, so they're studying my brain's tolerance to pain and suffering, and the consequences of deprivation, of relieving those, I guess,